In artwork, we see it in many art pieces created throughout history. Women painted nude or sculptured nude by a male artist hoping to sell his creation to his male counterparts. Although beautiful, when I view these historical and famous artworks, as a child I often wondered why the vast majority of muses were nude women. Of course, the counter-argument was that many men were portrayed nude, especially in Grecian and Roman art. However, while male nudes represented a man's strength, nude paintings of women represented procreation, love, fertility, sex, evident in the mass paintings and sculptures that resemble Venus and Aphrodite. Oscar Wilde once argued, life imitates art more than art imitates life. If that anti-mimesis is true, then what we see in the media regarding how sexual misconduct is viewed and dealt with by men and women have always been evident. Both men and women handle things differently, especially if they have experienced sexual misconduct. In the midst of the countless sexual abuse scandals that followed after the infamous Harvey Weinstein abuse scandal, the everlasting conversation about women and sexual misconduct, sexual assault, victim blaming was rekindled. There were tweets from Hollywood starlets and stars, and even if the public inserted their opinions via popular hashtags like Time's Up and Me Too. This led me to wonder, now anyone can be a victim of sexual misconduct. However, when we hear that term, we often think of women and sometimes overlook our male counterparts. According to nationalpublicradio.org, 34% of men have experienced verbal sexual harassment and 17% of men have experienced unwelcome sexual touching. Now, although that may seem like a small number compared to the vast majority of women who have experienced it, it doesn't negate the fact that it still happens, and oftentimes men do not come out as much as their female counterparts for a variety of reasons. They want, fame and money. So do you think that could be an aspect?
That happened with Justin Bieber. That one girl, she accused him of a bunch. I forgot what she accused him of, but she accused him of something
of having her.
Yeah, and then she had made it like she just made it up. Like I think so. That's my point. Like stereotypically good-looking guys or not so good-looking guys, or like guys who have sex appeal or not sex appeal, or women too. Anyone could. Like you said, anyone's capable of it. Mm-hmm. So I feel like what he looks like is irrelevant because a good-looking guy or a bad-looking guy is capable of sexual misconduct, is what I'm saying.
Always people that fake stuff, So sometimes you're always like iffy about like what something is. Mm-hmm. Like on, especially like any articles or something on Twitter, like they're always faking stuff. Mm-hmm. So like you really don't, like sometimes I don't believe the things I see. Like I keep sliding down. Whereas like imagine like if it was a big issue and like a lot of people don't believe it, they turn their heads on it due to like a lot of false things that they see. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Like we would play around, like they would touch me, we would touch them, like. But like there's this coworker that took it to like extreme, like she would bend down in front. But I didn't pay attention to, like sometimes you're like, oh, it's a girl, whatever, and you go about your ways. But I mean like if it's another guy, especially like if he's sensitive, like it's not that I'm sensitive,
right?
But it's just like it's my job, I'm just there to work and then leave. I'm like whatever happens. Like mm-hmm. I didn't like think of it like that. Like you see, sometimes you think it's just messing around, but like if it's another guy, like what if he took it to like if he's married or something, like that's when it leads to problems. Like mm-hmm. you playing around way too much, staying after, like that's when it starts leading to problems.
I have said stuff like that, and then girls have said it to me too, but it's not at the same time where the other girls like they made me feel uncomfortable because that's just how we joke with each other. Mm-hmm. And I've seen other people like that too, where I don't consider that sexual misconduct, but someone like her might. So like I wouldn't say that to her, mm-hmm. but like we don't have those conversations. So I do think like. That is kind of a fine line, so I get what you're talking about. Because one person said they could be joking around. Because I've said it to girls that I'm not even interested in, just like joking around. But we have, that's just how we joke with each other. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's been vice versa. They said to me, and I didn't take it that way at all either. But I feel like it's also. I mean, I know we talk about victim blaming, but I feel like if you are the victim, it kind of is your responsibility a little bit to speak up too. Which is why, like in my situation when I was talking about, I like said clear, and kind of like he said, I said no. Is why I got told that girl, I was like, don't you have a boyfriend? Like, I don't want, like, you know what I mean? Even if you don't want to be, like, make it awkward and be, like, super serious about it, I feel like you have to say, like, kind of something, like, so they know, like, and then after you make it clear, if they keep doing it, that's when it's harassment.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I felt like, because if you don't say anything, like, people aren't mind readers. Like, mm-hmm. They can't expect you, and everyone's morals are different, everyone interacts differently with each other, so if you don't say anything, you can't expect the other person to know. Mm-hmm. Like, there's certain things, like, certain areas, obviously, like, that's universal, like, you don't touch those areas, like, there's certain things, but then there's other things that's okay for one person, but not okay for another person. Yeah. So I feel like I feel like it is important for both people, like, to speak up, and, like, if it does bother you, like, just kind of to voice it.
Mm-hmm.